Hey everybody, it is Monday, December 25th. It is the human holiday, and a happy human holiday to you. Let's start the Not So Live feed. Thanks for tuning in, as you do here and there. I am, of course, Dan, at least on paper. Bleh. And as we said, happy human holiday. Hope you're having a good one. And as we always like to do, let's start with something slightly amusing from the interwebs. Well, if you haven't seen, this is one of many variations of this, but if you didn't know by now, the whole Disney-Fox merger, we're not trying to get too news bit, but since Disney owns Fox, and Fox owns Aliens, Alien Queen births alien xenomorph babies, they're all princesses. Hey! So that's a thing. That is a thing. We don't have too much news. We got just a little bit of gaming, a little bit of TV, movies. Gonna try some new stuff in there too. No wrestling 3 count this week because there's nothing really to care about, but we got a review at the end. So without further ado, let's do some gaming news. Alright, in gaming news, it was announced that I needed to have a prop ready. Boom! We're gonna bring this right here. But Catherine is going to be coming out later this coming year, 2018, for the PS4 and the Vita in a new full-body edition. And one of the big things that they're adding into it is third love interest by the name of Rin. So this isn't just a full remaster. This is, or like a port. This is a remaster. That's what I meant to say. But we're just gonna bring these up real quick to go with Cat. Oh, a reflection of me, and a reflection of me, and the reflection of me. We're gonna tilt that a little bit, but we got our, of course, Catherine boxers signed Team C by none other than Troy Baker, so of course we got to plug that in there somewhere. But yeah, not just a re-release, a full remaster, new edition content coming to the West later in 2018. Definitely something to look forward to. Other video gaming news we have, it was said we have a new we have new DLC for Friday the 13th, the game, and it's finally adding single player. Essentially, it's going to add a bot mode with 1 to 7 bots that you can adjust the difficulty. Now, the developer has said this is more or less testing the waters as to what the limits of single player can do. So maybe this could like build itself, if it works properly, towards a full-on single player story mode. So be interesting to see. I still haven't picked up the game yet. I've been waiting, but I don't know if I will. So. But yeah, that's finally happening. And finally, in video gaming news, a new Apple and Android game. We got the Bridge Constructor Portal game. Now, it's $5 on the Android market, Google Play Store, and I believe it's probably the same on Apple, but don't care, don't have Apple. And it's essentially a bridge builder, but it's the first one that's officially been licensed with the Portal name, so you're going to be using portals to make some cool bridges. I just haven't downloaded it yet, but definitely going to give it a shot. But yeah, check it out for yourself. Can't go wrong with Portal.
Can you deal with that?
In movie and television news, it has been talked about. Daredevil Season 3. Kingpin, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, might be the huge focus this time around, where they really want to flush out his character more. He did a great job in his portrayal. He does great jobs in many, many roles. And again, we got to go for the easy plug. No dust on you. Still my favorite role of his. Still happy that I got the Sugar Water signed by him. This is good stuff. But Vincent D'Onofrio, as an actor, has done so many good roles. I loved his role in The Magnificent Seven. As Kingpin, he's awesome. In Jurassic World, he was good. In Men in Black, he was awesome. He is a really good actor, even in Law and Order. But yeah, if the rumors are true, we're going to see a lot more of him in a much more fleshed out Kingpin come Season 3. Something to look forward to. In other movie and TV and straight to DVD news? Hard to say. But did you expect a sequel for Deep Blue Sea? I kind of didn't. This is an article that really came out of nowhere. But Sci-Fi, I guess they own the rights to it now, are going to be releasing Deep Blue Sea 2, as it's called right now. It seems like it's going to go straight to DVD, Blu-ray, very similar to how Jeepers Creepers 4 did. and then we'll probably see it on Sci-Fi some random weekend. But super genetic bull sharks this time, not mako sharks. Very similar, you know, like we're experimenting, so on. But it has already been given an R rating, so creature violence, gore, I believe were the subtext for that. None of the original cast, granted only 2 of them are still alive, Thomas Jane and LL Cool J, are going to be reprising as of now. And I don't blame them, Sci-Fi original. My big gripe, and I will watch this because I like shark movies, The Shallows and 47 Meters Down were amazing. I loved both of them, but that's because the visuals were able to stay on par. Being a straight-to-DVD Sci-Fi original, I'm going to have to reference what I just did again, Jeepers Creepers 4. I just actually sat and watched that when it was on TV the other day. It's lacking in some of the CG, so we'll see. I'll watch this when it comes out. Compared to Sharknado, this is more my type. So we'll see, but yeah, there's a sequel for Deep Blue Sea coming out. Maybe we'll get a catchy song just like the other one, you know, the "My Head is Like a Shark's Fin." And then we'll get Shark Boy to come in. And finally, in TV, movie, whatever you want to call it, news. Now, you see Blade up there, you see Wesley Snipes. It's not that we're getting a new Blade. However, it was announced on, he said it on his Twitter, there was a question coming up, you know, with the Disney, Marvel, Fox, all this stuff going on. Like, oh, Wesley Snipes, who would you like to see play Blade, you know, if they do another one? His answer was, come on, you know the answer, there's only one Blade. So obviously, if Marvel decides that they want to go forward, make a new Blade, whatever they be, Wesley Snipes is more than on board and willing to reprise his role as the character that he did a long time ago in like the 90s, so it'll be very interesting to see if that comes to anything, but that's going to do it for movie and TV news. Coming up next, we have a Vintage Vine review. Enjoy. And now, a Vintage Vine review. Why has this game not seen a reboot, sequel, or anything? It's amazing. Now, wasn't that special? Something different to add into the mix. Being that it will be the last show of this year, 2017, I figured, why not? Let's have a little game of the year. The best game this year, and I'm limiting it to games that I've played, games that I enjoyed. So guess what? Nintendo, you didn't make the cut. Let's see our nominees for 2017, my choice, Game of the Year. So there's been a lot of games that have come out this year. We're going to start early in the year. We had Farpoint come out for the PlayStation VR. Now this game, bundled with, or not, well, you can buy it separately, but bundled with the VR aim controller, really helped set PlayStation VR in a whole new direction. The controller was awesome, the gameplay was solid, storyline, but it built a good foundation of what a solid first-person shooter with good motion controls could be, especially on the PSVR. Adding the analogs on the dual analog on the actual aim controller definitely assisted this game's overall just solidness. Part of the reason why I still think they need to redesign the Move controllers. They need to re-release one with an analog on it. I would make games like Skyrim VR, which still was fun, I enjoyed playing it, so much better. Our next nominee, a game that has come out quite recently, The Evil Within 2, even though it cut the number 2 off, but that's The Evil Within 2. It took what the first game was and just ramped it up. I enjoyed this one way more than the first one. It's going to keep doing that. That's okay. Just its gameplay mechanics, it just felt more like a horror game than the first one. It did what a good sequel should. It took everything the first game did and built on it and made it better. That is definitely why this deserves to be in the running. Next, we have a game that surprised a lot of people with how difficult it was and just how fun it was, Horizon Zero Dawn. And I'm going to be kind of hiding behind things. They're going to move. That's what it does. Horizon Zero Dawn just is a beautiful game, very well built, pretty hard too. Not Demon Souls, Dark Souls hard, but still. Between the graphics, just how solid the game ran, it's It's good. The storyline's pretty good. Not amazing, but not bad. Has a good expansion that came out to add more to it. And it's just concept of that apocalyptic robotic dinosaurs and how everything came to be. Definitely, it deserves a spot here as well. Now, a game that will surprise some people to be up here is a game called That's You. Now, this game is going to keep jumping because my cup is right there, in my hand too. It came out of left field. It is a party game, which you have to use mobile devices to play with as well. But it is solid. Like, just the effort that was put into this, the enjoyment of it. It's one of those games that you really didn't expect what you got out of it until you played it. I enjoyed it. I could see them adding some expansions to it. It became free when it first launched for Plus members, which probably helped. But it's a game that, in retrospect, playing it now, I probably would have ended up buying. If they release an expansion for it, I could see myself buying, and that's really what a solid free game should do. If you enjoyed it at its base, would you want to spend money to get something more out of it? Now bear with us as pictures jump and move. They do that. Next up we have, which came out really early this year, Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7, just like Evil Within did, it took things before it, improved on it, and just ran with it. This is our first proper, and I say that because, you know, Dead Aim and Survivor did have a first-person aspect, but not like this. This game, with its VR built, VR built into it, just playing it in VR, the storyline's amazing. I've beaten it several times. The DLC just kept adding more layers on top of it, including the new DLC that just dropped. Got a video for it, go check it out. But again, it took everything in front of it and ran with it. And that's what a proper sequel should do. My only question is now, what are they going to do after this? Where's Resident Evil 8 going to go? We'll have to see. And finally, because, hey, we can only fit 6 on the screen, 6 is what we get. It's not Zelda, sorry. It's The Fractured Butthole, the new South Park game. Again, we have another sequel here. We got 3 sequels in the running. We have 3 originals, 3 sequels. Kind of weird. But this took what the Stick of Truth did, and again, built on top of it. Doing still that turn-based combat, just better. I feel like they took what was in front of it, ran with it, and made a much more solid game. So, and it's funny as hell. Oh my god, it's so funny. It's just so enjoyable. I did a review on it a few videos back. Go back and watch that if you feel like it. But yeah, these are our 6 nominees as they flutter in the air. But only one of them can be my 2017 Game of the Year. And it's gonna be Horizon Zero Dawn. It's gonna hide up here on my shoulder, but Horizon Zero Dawn did everything right, while still being, like, Demon's Souls, I give it all the credit in the world, even though it is insanely hard, but I still enjoyed it. This game, I felt, was the same. It's not incredibly impossible, but it is a challenge, and it's visually stunning. I love original IPs. This is something that I was surprised with and just enjoyed the hell out of. I recommend it to any and all PS4 owners. Awesome open world third-person gameplay, survival-ish mixed with robotic creatures. So, this is our 2017 Game of the Year. But we got one more thing we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about our most anticipated game, and we're going to have to put a hopefully it comes out next year. And that game is, of course, it's Days Gone. Now, we don't know if this game will see the light of day in 2017. We don't. They had a huge presence, a badass booth at the PlayStation Experience, but there was no demo. There was just a lot of the same video stuff we've seen. I really hope this game comes out, but it doesn't like get rushed. With what we saw, it would be nice to even just get a demo sometime this coming year. But this is my most anticipated game, hopefully, and I have to throw hopefully, of 2018. Just It just looks so good, and of course I am a sucker for open world post-apocalyptic games. And hell, I could have put Dead Rising 2 up there. Yeah, that's I made myself sad. Got a review coming up, and it's right now. So, The Shape of Water, the latest movie from director Guillermo del Toro, Pacific Rim, Hellboy, funny shoes. We got funny shoes out of him. I didn't know that until I went to the Guillermo del Toro art exhibit. But The Shape of Water is his most recent movie. It first came out very limited release, which was a bummer because I wanted to see it, being, you know, it's him. And then it finally, just last week, came out as a wide release. So we went and saw it. And we'll save the spoilers for later. You know how we do. Cut for that. Cut out. But it's not a bad movie. It's not amazing. It's different than what I expected, but Girlfriend, it was kind of exactly what she expected. So, props to you for calling it like you saw it. It's really good if you like indie kind of movies, indie styles, but it's not what I was expecting out of it. It's not terrible. It's just, yeah. There's some things in it. I've seen some things, but I still, if you like interesting movies, I recommend maybe a view. I wouldn't go out of your way to see it. So, you know, it's worth a view. But that's gonna do it for the review. Yeah, I know. Short, sweet, and simple, right? And that's actually going to do it for this show, this week's show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Spread the word. Do those things. You know what I ask of you. It's all that I ask of you. But until the next video, see you then. Alright, so this movie has a lot more love story stuff going on with it. It's got the girl who's a mute. It's got the Fishman monster, played by boom. There we go. Doug Jones. I met him. Got a thing signed. Awesome. He's great at like what he does, prosthetics, costumes, acting, all that. I don't blame him. I blame other things in this movie. It's weird. There's human fish sex alluded to. There's Michael Shannon and his like rotting fingers. That's weird. There's Russians. She's got these cuts on her neck that, hey, spoiler here, this shot is actually in the end of the movie because he turns these weird scars into gills and she becomes like Fish Lady 2. There's a random musical in it that I think is more or less her imagining like living with Fishman while he's just eating eggs. I really hoped that like this movie partway through is either gonna turn into like he's a kaiju and he's gonna become like a big thing at some point, and this is like, oh, Pacific Rim spoilers, haha. But it's not. Or that he was somehow related to Sabian from Hellboy, but they don't really allude to any of that. So there's weird fish sex between the mute lady and the fish monster. It's just weird. Yeah. So, that's the thing.